Hi, I'm Julie Bieland. I'm going live a couple times today. So, for this event, if you happen to be here and you want to ask a question live, please go ahead and put it in the comments. Say hi if you're here. I haven't been live for a while just to chat with you guys, and I didn't plan this, so I don't even know how many of you are actually here right now. I'm not even normally on a Sunday, but I was actually sharing an event that went live today for practitioners to learn about the trait. So, hi, Anne. I love it. Uh, so this is just to support you guys right now, to check in with you if you have questions, and if you have questions about the trait or about resources to support you, pop them into the comments and I will answer them live or come back and check also. So I've been busy creating lots of resources for you guys right now during this pandemic. I started a podcast, and at this point in time, there's over 50 episodes, and it's free. And I think it will really support you a lot right now. And I share everything from tips about how I am and what I'm doing to help support myself and my family right now through this crisis. I teach meditations. There's a bunch of meditations. There's some for sleep and relaxation, some for irritability or exhaustion, bunch of meditations. I've been loving hearing from you all about how it's helping you sleep. That makes me so happy when I know that I've provided something that really supported you, and I love hearing from you. You can actually even leave me messages on the podcast if you want, like a voice message that can even be included in future episodes if you have questions. And my blog itself is just filled with information too. I've been writing and giving lots of support through that, and those are both free resources for you. I've also put my brain training course at a massive discount just because I want you guys to have tools to support you. And we've been having a really wonderful time connecting in my sensitive empowerment community. So that's another thing for you to explore. I'm there every day offering support, and we do weekly events. In fact, this Tuesday, we're doing a pet show and tell and an art show and tell, which I'm excited about. I'm going to have my pets on video, and everybody that's in the community that's joining us will also have theirs. That will be really fun to see each other's pets and art that you're doing. It's just a time to connect with each other, and that's in my sensitive empowerment community that I really welcome you to join as well. There's just so much there for you. I want to help support you through being able to reduce the challenges that you experience so that you can access your gifts. Oh, Anne. Okay, I'll read out Anne's. I love everything you share. I appreciate you very much. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm so glad I discovered you before this quarantine. I'm perfectly fine being at home alone. Stay well, and thank you. Oh, Anne, that is really thoughtful of you to share that. Thank you. And I appreciate that. Just warms my heart to know that what I've been sharing is supportive to you. I'm very happy to hear that. That's my goal, is to continue to support you guys. I certainly know what it's like to really struggle in a survival mode with this trait before I understood it, before I was able to train my brain and learn how to navigate having such a sensitive system. So I think that's why I'm so passionate, because I understand what it's like to suffer from anxiety and depression. And it is so difficult to live life like that. And it excites me when I get to see my students and my clients and all of you starting to learn these tools to thrive. There's just so much that you can do that really helps you out there. And I have tons of stuff on my website. There's a free sensitivity quiz that I actually just updated as well. So I invite you to take that. And I've loved hearing from you about the quiz. I've had a lot of people tell me that they burst out crying taking this quiz just because it made them feel understood for the first time in their life. And that makes me feel so good, because I understand what it's like not to feel understood. And I think that's why I feel so passionate about really connecting with you guys and supporting you through this. So if you have listened to a podcast, or you read a blog page, or you found something that was helpful on my website, I really recommend sharing it with other HSPs so that they can also feel supported. And that's my mission, is to spread awareness, to spread support, and to help you guys through this right now. And I know people are going through a lot of different experiences. Hi, Nikki. Good morning. Oh, wow. First time visitor today, and recently found out what an HSP is. The relief I felt after finding out there are other people like me is amazing. Oh, yes. Thank you for posting that, Nikki. Absolutely. It is incredible. I had the same experience when I learned about this trait, and it changes your life, doesn't it? It just fills in the blanks. It helps you understand yourself, because if we're only 20% of the population, and then even with that, like if you've taken my sensitivity quiz and you've scored higher on that quiz, then what's interesting about that is you actually have probably some more challenges, but you actually have more gifts too. And if you can navigate the challenges and teach yourself how to support a sensitive nervous system, then you get to access those gifts. That's what's really beautiful, because I certainly wouldn't be doing any of the stuff I'm doing if I was still suffering in depression and anxiety like I used to years ago, before learning about the trait, before supporting myself and understanding how to support my sensitive system, how to advocate for my needs, how to set boundaries. Oh my goodness, we have so many things to talk about. We're going to be talking about, in my sensitive empowerment community too, about how to establish healthy friendships and relationships, because we often as HSPs are overgivers and fixers. We want to fix people, we want to help them, and we give so much of ourselves that we lose ourselves in the process, and often develop an imbalance in relationships as a result. So we're going to be talking about that as well. We do weekly events in my sensitive empowerment community that are really special and connecting, and it's just such a great place to be right now, especially for those of us that are at home and with the stay-at-home order or being quarantined right now, that being able to support yourself through what you're experiencing right now, even if you just bump up the support just a little bit more and you get the right kinds of tools and tips. And what's amazing is when you are using the right types of tools and tips, you actually can thrive very quickly. That is something that I used to work with both as a psychotherapist. I used to work with both, with the whole population. And I started to notice that it was the sensitive people with this trait that could thrive really fast. And I was always amazed by that. And I think that has a lot to do with our depth of processing and our activation in our insula, part of our brain. We have more activation in that, and that's part of the seat of awareness and consciousness. But we also have more in the fight or flight. We have more activation in fight flight too, which causes a lot of the anxiety, panic attacks, extreme stress. Oh, Nikki says that is good to hear. Yeah, you scored high. Yeah, good. Well, then that means you're with the right people. And I'm glad it's validating. And Nikki, that's the amazing thing, is to spend time with people who have this trait. And I cannot stress that enough. I post a lot on Facebook to give you guys support, but I do live videos and support every week in my sensitive empowerment community. I'm there every day interacting with them. It's a very safe space off of social media. So it's a lot safer because we have a smaller community there. And wow, all the things that we do, and the HSP library of events that we have there is incredible. You guys can see a whole list of things we've already done. I mean, we've had practitioners come in and teach us. We just had somebody who it's a practitioner who knows about Bach flower remedies. Well, actually, she taught us that it's called Bach flower remedies. Told us about some great ones that are helpful for calming the nervous system. We've had an herbalist to teach us about herbs that are really helpful for highly sensitive people. We've had a naturopathic doctor come in and teach us about anxiety, stress, menopause, so many different things. And in my podcast too, I also just recently interviewed her in my podcast as well. So you might want to watch that, because that's available for free on my podcast, Optimizing Your Health During This Pandemic, with Dr. Julia Hipp. I would recommend checking out that episode for sure. And the episodes that I've been doing with Willow McIntosh, they're really special too. And of course, listen to the meditations. I really recommend that you're trying to meditate every day. And I do guided meditations for sensitive people on my podcast. That's really helpful. Those are all available for free too. So just giving you guys lots of support. And if anybody has any questions or anything, you feel free to pop them into the comment box too. And I just really want to give you guys the support that you need. I would definitely recommend checking out my website, sensitiveconnection.com. So much stuff on there. Or you can get there through juliebielen.com too. But not everybody knows how to spell my last name. So I created that other option for sensitiveconnection.com. And you can learn about my books and courses and my sensitive empowerment community and the podcast and the blog that I do. And I really recommend, if you haven't already, sign up for my newsletter, because you'll get a free guide when you sign up for that. And every week I send you guys all the stuff that I've been doing. So if I created a new podcast, I'll let you know in the newsletter. And I give really huge discounts to my stuff too, if you're part of the newsletter. And it's just a way to really keep connected. Most of the time I just send that out once a week. Once in a while, it'll be an extra send out if there's an event going on or something that I want you guys to know about that I think is going to be helpful. So you can sign up for my newsletter on my website as well. And I really recommend doing that. It's a free newsletter. And then you can unsubscribe anytime. It's like a one-click unsubscribe if you don't want to be a part of it. But it's thousands of HSPs all over the world are signed up and loving it, because everything that I do gets put into that so that you don't miss anything. So hopefully that's helpful. Nikki says, I will be checking your page out in more detail. Wonderful. Yeah, I'm sensitiveconnection.com is where you can find all of that stuff. Another Julie. Hello, Julianne. My middle name is Anne as well. You're trying the meditation? Good. You cannot clear your mind. Yes. I've actually created guided meditations on my on my podcast. And I've just started the podcast last month, and I already have over 50 episodes. So I've done a bunch of meditations that are specifically for how the HSP brain works. And I recommend you listen to those and let me know if it's helpful. If you find it helpful, I love hearing from you guys. There's a Julia. Thanks so much. Message from Hong Kong. Love it. Oh, I love seeing where you guys are from. If you're listening to this, write where you're from. It is so fun to see the global community that we have here. That excites me, that we can be together from all over the world. And if you want to be together more, definitely check out my sensitive empowerment community. That's where I really put a lot of my time these days. And it's such a special space. I love it. It's so fun to hear from you guys too. I'm trying to read the comments as we go also. So anything else that you guys want to know about? Michigan. Oh, wonderful. I used to live in Minnesota, so we were close. Now I'm in California. It's so fun to hear where you guys are from. And I hope you guys can join my pet show and tell on Tuesday and the art show and tell on Tuesday. We're doing that in my sensitive empowerment community. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, just to connect. We do fun things in the community. We also do a lot of education about the trait. And I'm answering questions there every day and connecting with everybody. So I spend a lot of my time there, and definitely recommend if you guys can join us. It's a really special space. We talk about so many different things about the trait. We do positivity fill up, because especially right now, that's incredibly important. That you have to think about the brain as having two tanks, the positive tank and the negative tank. And with the pandemic going on, the negative tank is obviously getting incredibly full, which really gets us out of balance. And it takes about 5 to 8 positives just to neutralize one negative. 5 to 8 positives to neutralize one negative. That's a lot. So we actually spend a lot of time in our filling up our positivity tank in our sensitive empowerment community too. It's a very positive space to be, a very supportive, safe space to be. That's part of what we do. We have topics about the trait. We have meditation and journal prompts to work on our growth. Wow, we have so many different things. We have an amazing HSP library of events. As of now, we have over 30 recorded events that we've done in our community, and they are all available to members. So just imagine being able to go in there and get so much information to support yourself through this. And Nikki, you have a question that's been lingering in my mind and haven't found an answer to it yet. When HSPs are overstimulated, as is common to have an anger outburst that releases all of the stuck energy, or is that a sign of something else going on in the brain? That's so, I want to definitely point you to the direction of a blog post I wrote about that, talking about imploding and exploding. And what happens is, if the nervous system, you think about that container as being like your nervous system as being a container, and for a person without this trait, 80% of the population might be just dumping in a few cups into that container, and HSP is dumping in hundreds of stuff into that container. That stuff is information. It's extra information because we take in a lot more than most people. And if we are not draining what's in that container or being careful about what's going in it, then it can get overloaded and start overflowing. And that can cause anxiety, it can cause depression, it can cause anger bursts that you were talking about, and sort of an explosion or an implosion. And that is that is a problem for us as sensitive people, which is why we have to, the ultimate thing is to learn, and this is what I teach in all my courses and books and everything that's on my website, is how do we manage that nervous system container? Because if you can do things that help drain out what's in there, and also be careful about what goes in there. So if we're an overgiver and we have no boundaries and we're giving, and we're depleted all the time, we're going to have a problem with what the stuff that's in there. And it is absolutely not going to just stay in there and be okay. It's going to implode or explode. Implode into depression or anxiety, panic attacks, things like that. What's amazing is I love working with somebody who's maybe suffered with panic attacks for a long time, and then they learn how to manage that container and to drain out what's in there and to be careful about what's going in there. So we have to think about boundaries, healthy boundaries. I talk a lot about that. That's all over my website as well. So those are some of the things that you do. And once you figure out how to keep that drained and clear and be careful about what's going in it, you find balance. Like, I never thought I would be in a place in my life with so much balance, and to not go into those dark places and to not have anxiety take over my life. I never thought that would happen. But that's why I'm so excited about the brain training. There are things that you can do that intentionally activate calming centers in the brain, that deactivate stress centers. And it actually can be done through breath or through really quick and easy techniques. I teach all of that in my brain training course, which is I'm putting at a massive discount right now during this pandemic. And you can learn about that. I have a whole page of information about the brain training program for highly sensitive people, techniques to reduce anxiety and overwhelming emotions. And that will teach you how to manage that nervous system container so that you can find balance again. So I hope that helps you, Nikki, a little bit of an answer with that. I love the question. And if you guys have more questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. I'm happy to try to support you. And it was nice to spend a little time with you guys out there. And I hope that you're doing okay. And I hope you're taking care of yourself in the HSP way that helps you thrive. And there is so much information. Check out the podcast on my website. Check out the blog post. Take the sensitivity quiz. You're going to get a lot of information about yourself through all of that. And we'll definitely be in touch. And I'll come back and check if you guys have questions that come up later. I hope you guys are taking good care of yourself out there. And know that you are so valuable in the world. We need your gifts. We need them even more than ever right now. And if you can take care of yourself in the right way, you can really truly thrive, and you can release those gifts into the world, because we need you. We need you to be able to do that. And because you're so valuable. And if you don't yet know that, spend some time on my website and you will start to see how valuable you are. You're very welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that was helpful to you. And thanks for being here and for interacting. That was fun. And maybe we'll do it again soon. And check out my community, because we're going to be doing that fun live event on Tuesday. I hope you guys can join us too for that. Okay, everybody, take good care of yourself out there, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.